we're going to start off. Good morning, everybody. My name is Peter Reichert. I am a senior consultant at Altron Byte System Integration, PMC, and IoT. I will be handling this webinar for Adroit today. We previously had a webinar on all the general terminologies and of the OEE. I'm going to quickly recap on that by just taking what we've did speak about last time and quickly just go over it. We quickly discussed the OEE in general last time, and we basically discovered the three pillars on which the OEE is formed. That is performance, availability, and quality. We also discussed the biggest losses, and that the automation of that 6 losses is taking away the pen and clipboard, and that basically is automating that and make it more reliable. We also discussed the terms like block periods, slow running, short stops, long stops, unplanned maintenance, planned maintenance, and reporting. And we will again have a look at this when we do the live demo in webinar number 4. Today's discussion is going about the hardware and software requirements. And in this, I created the automation layers, and if you can see on the screen now, there is the automation layers. On level 1, you will see there is the ERP layer. Level 2, the MOM, MES, OEE, SCADA layer. The supervisory layer, which is level 3, if you see on the right hand side there. On the left hand side, control layer, and that is layer 4, and field instrumentation, which is level 5. I'm going to discuss everything as to this diagram to give us just an overview where everything is do fit in. In layer 1 is our ERP layer, and there we will traditionally find our SAP, Syspro, Sage, etc. We also find the ERP database in that layer. Layer 2, here you will find the MOM, MES, OEE, and SCADA layer. We also find the SCADA database here. We, as a rule, when we do the install the OEE, use 2 servers, which is the OEE stroke SCADA server and the SQL database. If you implement the OEE first, you can later use the same SQL database and SCADA machine to run the SCADA on. And if you've already got a SCADA installed, we can just plug the OEE on top. Layer 3 is the supervisory level, and this is where we find the IPCs or industrial PCs. These industrial PCs is a normal PC that is just fitting inside a distribution board and is made for the industrial environment. Also in this layer we find the office users. The office users is typically like your management, your planners, your production controllers, your IT production managers, quality, and sometimes your maintenance department. Layer 4. I will discuss layer 4 and layer 5 together. That is the control layer and the field instrumentation. Here we'll find the control, the PLCs on layer 4. We'll find the PLCs, and we use the Mitsubishi FX5 as part of our solution. I spoke the other day to a colleague, and he said OEE is very difficult to implement. And I asked him why. He said because there's a lot of field instrumentation that needs to be taken into account. That is actually not the case with the Adroit OEE. I'm quickly going to discuss the inputs and outputs on the PLC to show you how easy it is, or how and that you don't need a ton of signals to come in. On the input side, we need actually two signals to make the OEE work. The first signal is a digital input, and that's the stop-start of the machine. Now, some machines you cannot stop and start. You just stop the process that the operator is busy with. In that case, we use a simulated stop-start to make the OEE work. We then need the production counter input or pulse, which is giving us a count of each of the bottles or presses that has been done, or every time a part goes through, it gives us a pulse. With these two signals, we can actually run the system. We, however, do implement a lot of more of these signals. We bring in the safeties of the machine, which is the emergency stops, the pull wires, the cage doors, the motor trips, and many more. We also bring in the scrap and rework counters here, if they are available. If they are not available, we've got about 3 or 4 other ways of handling scrap, which is varying from push buttons at the machine to manual inputs on the OEE system, by either the quality or by the operator at the machine itself. On the output side of the PLC, the output side, we basically got one output to make the system work, and that is the interlock to the machine. The interlock to the machine or the process, we interlock the machine or the process in that case. The other 4 with that we can make the machine, we can make the OEE work. We actually do not need anything else. But we also give you on your machines, we basically fix a stack light with 4 different colors on the stack light. I'm going to quickly run through them and just give you an idea what they do. We use 4 outputs on the PLC. We use 4 outputs on the PLC to make these stack lights work. The colors of the stack lights are red, green, amber or orange, and blue. The colors that we use are for the following purposes: solid red, the plant can run, everything is in order, we can go as the machine is standing at the moment. That is if there's an order loaded or not, but the machine is ready. Flickering red is when there is an emergency stop or a pull wire or any of the safeties is made, then we will get a flickering red. Green, solid green, the machine is running and nothing is wrong. If you see a solid green walking down the passage and the supervisor look up and he sees a solid green, he's as happy as can be. Flickering green, the machine is slow running, so it's running slower than the target time that is assigned to that product. And the operator and the supervisor will then have to investigate why the machine is basically running slow. Amber or orange. Amber we use to show the supervisor that there's an active delay that needs to be booked on the system. And then we've got a flickering blue and a solid blue. The solid blue is for the maintenance, and that is maintenance is busy on the machine, can be planned or unplanned maintenance. And the flickering blue, the tool setters are busy to set up the tool. We load a physical setup works order into the system. The production planner is doing that, and when he do that, he basically create before each tool change a tool setup works order, and then after that the normal works orders. I'm going to quickly discuss the hardware. In the server room. In the server room, we need the Adroit server, complete monitor, mouse, keyboard, everything. A SQL server, also complete with mouse, keyboard, everything that's needed. We need a dedicated network switch with a fiber optic connection to the shop floor, a layer 3 switch, so that we can route our office users from the office network through to the to the OEE network. And that is basically all that you need in the server room. On the shop floor, we need a dedicated network switch with fiber optic connection on the shop floor, and that switch basically connects from the server room, and then from there it will go down to a little four port switch, which is in the cabinets where the IPCs and the Mitsubishi FX5 UPLC is connecting to. Then a set of stack lights, and then UPS for UPS power. We put UPSs at the PLC and the little switch to keep the switch in the PLCs alive when there is power failures, and also to handle the switch over between power and generator power. That is to make sure that if we start up again, that we do have all the information available. There are also other items that we use, and that is normally AC power points, network points, relays, wires, terminals, cable markings, board markings. Distribution board can be mounted against the wall or on a pedestal at the machine. And normally the clients prefer to do these installations with their maintenance team, which make the cost a little bit less and also make the maintenance team involved from the beginning. I'm quickly going to talk about the network diagram a bit. It's very short. This is the typical network diagram that we use for the OEE. This is a very simple network diagram, just showing you all the servers, also the network switches and the connection through from the office switches to the OEE switches, and the switch in the plant as well as the equipment in the plant. The next thing I want to discuss a bit about is software. We use a lot of software with the Adroit OEE to make a lot of things work, and I'm just going to quickly talk through them. You can see the software list is up on your screen. I'm going to quickly take it from the top. The software on the IPC itself, we need the Windows 10 CE, which is we normally buy with the IPC. And then we put VNC on each and every one of them because it just saves so much trouble if we have to do remote fault finding on the system, that we can precisely see what the operator is seeing. So we normally come in from the outside via a VPN onto a jump server or onto the Adroit server. It doesn't matter. Both of them works well. And then from the Adroit server, we will VNC out to the field to see what the operators are doing. And then we do install an Adroit operator on that IPCs. The Mitsubishi FX5 UPLC, we need the GXWorks 3 package there. SQL Server. SQL Server, we've got basically two installs that will take up licenses that we need to buy. It's the Windows Server 2019 and the SQL Server 2019 Standard Edition 2 Calc. These two we do pay for. The rest are all freeware. SQL Server Management Studio, SQL Server Reporting Services, SQL Server Data Tools, and the Visual Studio free edition. On the Adroit server, we have the Windows Server 2019, VNC, Microsoft Office 32-bit edition, and Adroit full version. The licensing of Adroit will be one license for each OEE. So if you've got 20 machines, you will have 20 OEE licenses. And remote operator licenses. Remote operator licenses is for the remote operators that is running on the IPC. So if you've got 20 IPCs, you will need 20 remote operator licenses as well. These operator licenses can become a bit more, because if you want to bring up the managers and all the other guys that is involved, planners, then we will need more licenses there. I want to quickly just talk a little bit about, before we get to the end, about the install package. At this stage, the Adroit install package is a template that we restore through the Adroit backup and restore function. This will change in the future as it will become an install package, a full install package that we can install. And that will then include all the necessary agents and everything that is needed for Adroit OEE. The different machines that we create through object model, and we use the object model to create instances which make the planning or the time that we actually spend on the OEE much less. The machines is normally 100% generic, with one or two exceptions, so it's easy to do it through an object model. I'm not going to do a live demo on the object model, as there is somebody else that already busy with that, and he will then show us how that is done. And that is my story on hardware and software. If there's any questions, I will take them now. I also just quickly want to state that we are in a lockdown period, and I think people are sitting waiting for the lockdown to go down. In this lockdown period, if you are interested in the OEE, please contact me. We can really talk through it. We can get a layout of your plant and get a good idea of how we can give you a quote on the system. Any questions at this stage? Any questions? I'm going to give you a little bit more time there. If there's no questions, if there is anybody that is interested in the system, or if you've got further questions on this, please go to the Adroit website or contact the Adroit marketing department. You can also contact me direct. My telephone number was available on this video. And if you liked our video, subscribe and like the video. And that is the story from my side. Thank you very much for watching.